The war genre in video games is often one of the most expansive ones for the most basic of reasons. You can pick various wars, battles, or even create your own unique setting to have a conflict in, and have to do just the bare minimum in terms of changing things up in order to have a half-decent title that people will want to play. If you are lucky enough to have a PS5 and want to poly a war game, then here are some options for you. For better or for worse, the Battlefield franchise continues to try and make their war titles bigger, grander, more authentic, and more varying. And with Battlefield 5, while they didn't get to the level that they were hoping for on all fronts, they do offer you a complete experience that most will enjoy. Because in one of their most recently titles, they allow you to take to the land, sea, and sky in order to take out the bad guys. And that's just in the single-player mode. Once you head to the multiplayer mode, you'll have even more fun as you go up against players from all over the world. DICE usually puts everything they have into the engine and sound of the game, and you can see and hear. So try it out and see what this series still has to offer.
Hello, old friend.
Oftentimes, war games don't always let you feel the true nature of a battle because it's trying to get you from one point to the other without much issue. Hell Let Loose, however, is a different story, because in this game, they not only recreated 9 distinct battles with massively detailed maps based on their real terrain at the time, but they want you to feel the evolving nature of things. Because the game forces you to endure battles with not just soldiers, but vehicles trying to kill you, supply chains trying to keep their forces on the front line, and terrain that you have to overcome. Your unit and squad and army have to advance or repel in order to get resources, spots on the map, and more. Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown puts you in the pilot seat of a jet and puts you in intense combat both in the single-player and multiplayer modes. 360 battles will be happening all around you as you'll need to be a true Top Gun in order to survive. The sky is full of danger, and it's up to you to make it safe for your people. Do you think you can be the pilot that can do that?
Soviet agent Perseus is in play. He's active.
It's Friday night, you're sitting back on the couch with your mates furiously mashing the buttons on your controller, frantically escaping death as you leap, slide, and take cover. All the while raining hell on all would-be assailants. You can't go wrong with a Call of Duty game, as with other offerings from the series, the online multiplayer and couch co-op is where it's at, a return to all that made this series great. It's as though they've removed a lot of the co-op fluff that's been present in other offerings. The campaign has a greater focus on RPG elements than previous games with less blind run and gun action. The campaign and storytelling elements are enthralling. The character and historic details are awesome to dig into. The game features new spy mechanics like lockpicking, spy cameras, and undercover stealth action with decisions that carry real weight and alter the game's ending. Beautiful chaotic battlefields, wild bursts of gunfire, and iconic era-specific weaponry. Battlefield 1 offers an incredibly engaging World War I experience. The gameplay and physics highlight the role that advanced weaponry and vehicles played in the skirmishes of the era. Each of the weapons feels unique, with its own inherent strengths and weaknesses. The multiplayer feels tight and fluid, and players are pushed to coordinate their attacks to survive the monstrous vehicles that can sometimes dominate the battlefield. The campaign is sincere, captivating, poignant, and paints a clear picture of the trials and tribulations faced by troops across the war. Fast-paced, destructive gameplay and bullets whizzing past your head in a mad rush of frenzied gunplay. That's how I describe Call of Duty Modern Warfare in a sentence. Fun, tight action makes for a lot of time well spent. The campaign focuses on a divided experience, switching from stealth-oriented gameplay to fast-paced bullet hell rapidly. Unfortunately, this great experience is just a little too short. However, the multiplayer is the real meat and potatoes. There are a few modes to choose from and each is rendered in realistic striking detail. That goes for the weapons as well.
This is crazy.
Get down!
Operation Kraken could win the Nazis the war.
Leave a trail of corpses across the stunning countryside of France. Set against the backdrop of World War II, Sniper Elite offers an hyper-realistic gameplay experience. Massive maps and alert AI ensure that you'll find yourself sneaking carefully across the vast expanse planning the perfect attack. The game goes into an impressive level of detail and will even push you to consider environmental elements before making your shot. Plan how best to conceal your shots to avoid detection and maximize damage. The kill cam is back from previous games and it's welcome as always. One open world pro is that you can decide how to proceed with each kill. Do you want to take a pot shot from across the map, or would you rather get up close? It's your oyster. There's also a multiplayer that makes for some intense sniper battles that will see you go shot for shot against other real-world opponents.
What happens next could change the course of the war.
Call of Duty Vanguard is very much your standard Call of Duty game, but with some upgrades and twists that make things unique enough overall. In the story, you'll play as 5 different characters from various points in the war. They're captured by the Axis powers and are trying to get out while flashing back to what brought them to that point. It's pretty intense, but that might just make it more enjoyable for you as you try and beat it. Then, head to the multiplayer side of the game and put your skills up against the rest of the world. Scale is often very important in a war game, which is why this next title is definitely one you'll want to check out. War Thunder is a title that puts you not against a computer in the main conflicts, but against other players. Yep, it's a cross-platform war MMO where you'll be able to select from across 2,000 different vehicles to do battle in. Each one will give you different advantages and show you different eras of war, so you'll want to choose your vehicle carefully. Obviously, using all of these different rides will benefit you as you try and work together to take out the enemy, as well as going and defending those close to you. You can't win this fight alone, so think of a good strategy and win. There are over 100 different battlefield areas from history to partake in, and with the game being a free-to-play title, do you really have an excuse to not try it at least once? Here's another thing: war games are sometimes known for overly long and ridiculous titles, such as with Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2. This game puts you back in the scope position of Raven, a sniper who is taking on contracts to eliminate some of the most dangerous people in the world. This time around, you'll find yourself in the Middle East, and that will deliver new challenges for your sniper that other games don't. Unlike certain other sniper titles, you'll have to be clear on whether you can take the long shot or have to get in close for a kill. Either way, you'll need to be precise, deadly, and get out alive. So if you think you're able to be a Ghost Warrior, you know what game you need to get. War titles often try and give you a realistic retelling of the fights that help define the war, but how truly in-depth they go often depends on the title itself. If you look at the Tannenberg title, for example, you'll get to have a unique experience from the battles of World War I, all the while having massive battles against other players that will make it so that every round of these fights is never the same as before. Because in Tannenberg, you'll get to have matches with up to 64 total players. That's a lot of people trying to complete goals and trying to stop others from completing theirs. Hence the variety of things. Plus, the game has gone to great lengths to ensure authentic weapons of the time, large battlefields to do special tactics in, and more. Enlisted is a very different game than the ones we've already talked about, mainly because of the shift in style from other war games out there. In this game, you're not playing a single soldier or commanding a vehicle in a large-scale conflict. Rather, you're commanding a squad of soldiers in massive battles across the breadth of World War II. You'll go through some of the most iconic battles of the war, and it will be your squad, among others played by different players, who will help turn the tide of battle in your favor, or not. Your squad will be able to have 10 different classes, from basic riflemen, to engineers, to flamethrower wielders, explosive experts, and so on. The variety and uniqueness of this game isn't to be underestimated, so give it a shot. "6 Days in Fallujah" gives you a look into the battles that happened in Iraq during the war that took many lives and lasted a very long time. Don't worry though, there are a few key twists that separate this game from the pack. As these fights you'll take part in are more real than you realize, these are accounts given to you by those who were there. You won't just be soldiers either, you'll be playing as civilians at times in order to fully grasp just how horrifying these battles and fights for survival were. A very visceral experience if there ever was one in a war game. Plus, the team went out of their way to ensure that every playthrough of the game would be different so that, like soldiers in the fight, you'll never know what's truly behind that next door.
Must be experienced.
As we noted in the intro, sometimes you just need to make up your own setting to make your game special, and the Wolfenstein was very much born, bred, and then remade to have that focus in mind. In the titles, you'll play as William B.J. Blazkowicz, a soldier in a world where the Axis powers won World War II, changing the very course of history. Now, you must help build up the resistance and take the fight to them before things get even more out of control than they already are. And as you might recall, these games get pretty nuts. The best part is that between the main line, the DLC, the spin-offs, and so on, you're going to have a lot to do and play, and a lot of bad guys to kill. The best part is that between the main line, the DLC, the spin-offs, and so on, you're going to have a lot to do and play, and a lot of bad guys to kill. Or, if you just want a war game where you can literally just hop in and shoot up the place and everyone in it, Call of Duty Warzone is for you. Because unlike Vanguard, this game isn't about a single-player mode or a great story from the war. Rather, it's about a battle royale experience where only the strong and smart and lucky will survive. The game is constantly growing via new updates and content drops, so the game now is nothing like it was when it first arrived. Many people can't help but love the battle royale experience, so if you are one of them, you need to check out Call of Duty Warzone. A military war game based around World War I we think you should be checking out is Isonzo. The overall game focuses on the Italian front. You'll battle against the opposing forces throughout Italy, aiming to be more historically accurate. Everything from uniforms, weapons to the locations are being replicated to showcase what it was really like during chaotic frontline battles. There is also online PvP where players can join together and battle within the different game modes. We have come to the end of our video. I hope you liked this list we prepared for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like the video. Bye for now, see you in our next video.